Hello and welcome back to another live, people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to the GVO show, season 2, episode 3, people. Big up to everyone here. Don't know why Musty and Dave are moving mad, but big up to everyone in the chat. Yeah, Musty and Dave, typical antics from these men. Typical antics. Big up to Elijah. Man said 5-minute timer means Alfie is late. To be fair, I always do the 5-minute timer. Alfie was late, but it wasn't. It was just an accident. He clicked on the wrong link, I think.
Yeah.
clicked on the wrong link. But big up to everyone inside. Alfie, bro, how have you been?
Outside of football, I'm doing pretty well. Inside of football, well, we're going to talk about it, aren't we? It's been an interesting few days, safe to say, football-wise. But yeah, I'm doing good regardless. Here for another great show. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing as well. If you're not, you're a dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not subscribed to Alfie, you're a big dickhead because his link is in the title. So you've got no excuse. If you're subscribed to me, you automatically have to subscribe to Alfie. That's the rule. That's the rule. Like it's buy and not even buy one get one free. You're getting 2 subscriptions for free. It's not like Netflix where they overcharge you and shit. It's not like that. Like we've got a lot to get into. I think before we get into any games this week, deadline day was today, and the window has officially closed. Obviously,
hmm
people are getting deals done along the way as well. So I think it's a very good time to like review both of our windows. But start with you, bro. What have you made of Arsenal's window overall then? Because obviously looking into it, you probably wanted a few people in, probably wanted a few people out. You probably wanted a few positions addressed. Do you feel like you addressed all of them? And if you did you feel like you addressed them well?
Well, funnily enough, a lot of the players that I've wanted out have gone out on loan. Kivior being one of them. I was under the impression that he was joining Porto on a permanent deal. Didn't realise it was going to be a loan. So obviously Zinchenko's gone out on loan. Nelson's gone out on loan. Vieira as well. I'm just looking at like players like Zinchenko, maybe Vieira and Kivior. I'm just thinking, why are you letting them out on loan? Why not just sell them?
Mm.
Like it makes more sense to sell them because they're clearly not getting into the squad. They're clearly not happy about not being in the squad. Yet you're letting them go out on loan. Are you going to use them anytime soon? Because if not, you might as well cut your losses and get rid. But apart from that, I think we've had an okay window. I know Dave asked me this question yesterday during the Liverpool watch along. He asked me how I rated the window this summer, and I said around a 7.5. I definitely think the Hincapié deal, Gyökeres and Eze definitely saved the window for me. Other than that, it was a bit piss poor. I mean, Kepa, for all the talk about how he's a decent goalkeeper, at the end of the day, he's a backup, and he's not really a good one, despite having some okay performances in pre-season. You're looking at Madueke. Yes, he played well against Leeds, but apart from that, he's not really made an impact. And also he was possibly one of our most attacking players yesterday. But we'll get into that. And Norgard, who's already injured. So I think apart from those, from the shit bits, I definitely think that the window is definitely around a 7.5, and it's okay, but it doesn't necessarily set the world alight.
I didn't know Norgard was already injured.
Yeah,
Like, is he out for long?
not too sure how long he's out for.
Fair. Like, do you know what? Okay, so what positions do you feel like cool Arsenal did bang on? Like, you got what you wanted in that.
I think the striker, and over recent performances, I've come to realise that we got the right end of the deal in that one in terms of getting Gyökeres over Sesko. Because Sesko's been missing in his first 3 games for Manchester United or so. So, he may end up proving people wrong, but I think the main deal that we needed to get done was a striker. We've been crying out for a striker for years, not really getting one, trying to play players who aren't naturally a number 9 in that position. Yes, it did okay for a little while, but at the end of the day, how long are you going to be able to use that tactic for before teams start to find it out? So we definitely needed a striker. I think we could have done with a better left wing option. Yes, getting Eze in is brilliant, but he's not necessarily a left wing player. But he'll end up playing on the left wing because that's the way Arteta rolls. Um, and yes, we've got a backup goalkeeper, so I guess those are the positions that we needed. Do I think we could have got a better goalkeeper? Maybe. We've also sorted out the defence in the way. Yes, we've got rid of some players. Obviously, like I said, Zinchenko, Kivior, all going out on loan. Despite the fact I think we should have sold them. We brought in the likes of Hincapié, Mosquera, who, to be fair, had an okay game at Anfield yesterday. But like I said, we'll get into that. So I think the defence, in goal and up front are the main positions that I think we've managed to take care of this summer.
What about the positions you feel like you lack? So you said left wing. Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like having Eze as a left winger option? I've seen Martinelli get a lot. I didn't get to watch the game, but I've seen Martinelli get a lot of criticism. We'll get onto the game in a bit. But like, obviously, with your left winger options, you extended the wages of Trossard without extending the contract, which didn't make sense to me. You got Eze in, who isn't a left winger but can play there. Martinelli, who hasn't been great. Madueke, who could also play there. Like, is there any other positions apart from the left wing? Like, what have you made overall? Like, is there any other position where like you've lacked? You feel like?
Well, to be fair, I think we've lacked a main man in the midfield in terms of like a creative figurehead in that midfield, because obviously over the past few weeks or even months actually, Erdegaard's been going missing, and it's becoming more and more regular now. Like, he just provides nothing in terms of a creative sense. So we've definitely been lacking a creative player. Whether Eze's meant to be that player, I don't know. But like we said, I think 9 times out of 10 he's going to be used as a left wing player. So I definitely think we're lacking a creative midfielder.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Like maybe Eze and like realistically, Eze and Wanyeri should be the guys, but it's Arteta. So
Mm.
I feel like it's very annoying. Yeah, like we all squad plan in our head, but when we know what the manager is like, we have to use that squad planning differently. There's what we want and what we know is what's going to happen. I suffer that a lot at West Ham, and I feel like you suffer that a lot with Arteta because you know
Definitely.
his habits and stuff. Like in an ideal world, I don't think Odegaard started the season bad at all, but at the same time, we saw what he's like in the business end of the season, but also for the majority of last season. We're all like everyone's under the microscope now at Arsenal because you're trying to get over the line. You're trying to get
Yeah,
over the line. You're literally so close. So like any little thing where even if it's like a 7 out of 10 and you're lacking that spark to make it an 8 out of 9 out of 10 in terms of player individual performances to get
it
you
could be
over the line.
detrimental.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand the criticism of Erdegaard. By the way, this just reminded me of the In-Betweeners. I've been seeing a man about his dog. This reminded me of Jay from the In-Betweeners instantly. That's why my
Funnily enough,
mind
did you
goes.
hear? Did you hear that
What?
apparently the guy who plays Will from the Inbetweeners is going to be in Star Wars?
What? Why?
Yeah.
What the fuck is what these agents move mad when it comes to acting jobs? What the hell? Like you could be in In-Betweeners like 10 years ago, now you can be in Star Wars. What I stopped watching Star Wars as soon as I saw the first Disney film.
Well,
Like I can't lie, I did not like that shit.
you say that about that going from Inbetweeners to Star Wars, but you got John Boyega who went from Attack the Block to Star Wars. So, and
That's
my
true.
man's from Peckham.
That's true. I don't know. Yeah, fair enough to John Boyega. Fair enough to him, bro. Like, big up to Near Science. Well, big up the whole
Big
chat.
up,
Smash the likes
big
as
up.
every single time. Near Science is a Liverpool fan. So, man said, is that my son Alfie? So, it's a good way to move on to Liverpool against Arsenal. I didn't get to watch the game. I saw the free kick. It's ironic how this Mr. Set Piece FC got done by a set piece. A man like Sabozalai. All this guy can do is strike a ball. Played it right back as well, which I'm assuming Martinelli struggled against because I saw a lot of criticism of Martinelli, and Sabozalai was playing right back. So that was a sticky one. But what went wrong yesterday? I saw a lot of criticism about Arteta not letting the team, go and play. That was the main criticism I saw online. What did you make of it?
Well, I mean, about an hour before the game, I saw the starting 11, and to tell you the truth, I was already pissed off.
Mm.
You turn up at Anfield with the most defensive midfield I've ever seen. You've got Rice, Zubimendi, and Marino as your three-man midfield going to Anfield. Are you taking the piss? What was all that money spent on Eze for? Just for him to sit on the bench? Are you mad? You go to Anfield and you don't start Eze. So I already knew from that point we were going to lose. To be fair, I wasn't all that confident going into this game, and we said this, Mikes. But Saliba got injured. Yet again, another injury. And it's getting beyond the joke now. The injury list. I mean, that treatment room's got a revolving door at this point. Because there's players going in and out and in and out. Like
It's true.
it's just a problem, and there's only one man to blame, Mikel Arteta. We definitely weren't attacking enough yesterday. We were playing. We went to Anfield with an out and out number 9, but we weren't playing to him in the sense that we weren't putting the ball on a plate for him. We was just sort of knocking it long from goalkeeper, hoping he'll get on the end of the pass, and it never really happened because he was either in the wrong position or David Raya just pumping the ball sideways. And funnily enough, he said after the game that the ball was the problem. Like, we're still trying to adjust. I'm not being funny.
The Puma football's fucked me.
It's again, you know what I mean? It's filtering down from the manager to the fucking goalkeepers now. Like, I'm not being funny. I watched the preseason games, and for the majority of them, apart from the 2 games at the Emirates, we used the Puma Premier League ball. We used it against Milan, Newcastle, and Spurs. We've also used it in 2 Premier League games beforehand already. So don't try and tell me we're still getting used to the football. You've had plenty of time to get used to it. You've had the whole of fucking pre-season.
Also, they both play with the same football.
Exactly. This is what doesn't make sense. It's baffling to me, Mike.
Is David Raya just saying he's set 8? Because like, if the other keeper can adjust, why can't you? What I don't get, the Puma footballs can't be that powerful for you to be talking about. They're so different and all that. Like, that can't be a thing, can it? Like, because the interviewer, people were saying, but the interviewer asked him about the football. If I'm getting asked about the football and I'm a player, I'm like, this has nothing to do with the football. We play with the same football. I'm answering with a common sense answer. I'm not answering, yeah, by the way, we lost because of the football. What about the Leeds game? Was the football a big advantage? Like, what about the Man United game? Was the football a big advantage? Like, come on, man.
It's just a case of not only the Arsenal players, but the Arsenal fans looking for excuses as well. And I'm not necessarily saying that the Arsenal fans were blaming the ball yesterday, but they were kind of blaming the referees again. The PGMOL screwed us over. Liverpool were paying the refs. You had plenty of time to get a goal in that game, and you didn't. You have no leg to stand on.
None at all. What was like it? Was it literally just a case of Arteta didn't go for it? Because 1-0 screams a lot.
And it was like the Etihad all over again, but this time it went wrong. We went to Anfield, played for a draw, and got fisted.
Why do you guys play for a draw when you're trying to go for?
I don't know. I really don't know, and it winds me up like so much.
And you was talking about Saliba getting injured. So, how many injuries is that since the start of the season? Let's say since you played Man United, has there been a few?
Well, technically, both Ødegaard and Trossard are carrying knocks, but whether that's too much, I don't know. Right now, we've got Saka injured, Norgard injured, and now Saliba. We don't really know too much about what's going on with Saliba at the moment. But all I know is after 4 minutes, he had to come off and Mosquera came on. And like I said, to be fair, I don't think Mosquera had a bad game. I don't really necessarily think that you can blame the loss on the defence. Yes, maybe the free kick wasn't exactly a problem. Well, it was a problem, I mean. But I think overall, like I said, we went to Anfield, played for a draw, and got done up the backside. Simple as that. This is what happens when you claim to be in a title race, but you're going to your title rivals and playing for draws. Make it make sense.
I've seen a lot of criticism as well online about your midfield pairing, like Zubimendi and Rice. Like, do you think they've worked well together? Do you think you miss Thomas Partey? Like, not in terms of just a player, because we all know where he is, but like in terms of like the profile player, in terms of what he gives, or do you feel like Zubimendi and Rice are doing all they can? What's your opinion?
Well, I mean, in the quote-unquote 2 big games that we've had this season, being Liverpool and United, but let's be real, United ain't that big anymore. In the quote-unquote big games, Zubimendi, we haven't really seen much of him. I think he's been run over by each team's midfield. I think against United, he come up against Casemiro, and I can't remember who else was in the midfield that game. But in this game, he had McAllister, Gravenberch, Wirtz in that midfield as well. Szoboszlai moving from right back into the midfield positions. I was watching the match of the day highlights after the game, and they were talking about the sort of runs that Szoboszlai was making. Like, this guy did not stop yesterday. I think he did about 200 yards. He ran from his own box, ran towards our defensive position in our own 18-yard box, and then as soon as we lost the ball, we ran straight back. Like, this guy did not quit yesterday, and fair play to him for getting the goal. It was an absolute peach. But I think Raya should have done a lot better.
Yeah, fair. I think the free kick is the freak. Truth is, Ryan still looks uncomfortable in goal for whatever reason, even though he's a goalkeeper. I don't necessarily blame the goal. I can only see from the goal. I don't know how he did the rest of the game. I don't necessarily blame the goal on him, but every time I watch him, bro, he look again. I'll say this once again. I use the same analogy. It's like when the guy who has an outfield player in pro clubs goes and goal. That's how I look at some of these like ball playing keepers that do too much. I feel like he's instructed to do too much because a lot of I feel like at Arsenal that's an Arteta thing, but at the same time he looks so uncomfortable sometimes. I think it's just a great goal, but he looked uncomfortable trying to actually go for the ball.
I mean, we're still under the pretense of playing David Raya about 10 yards away from the halfway line when we're in possession. Like, it makes no sense. Because if you get done on the counter attack, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's facts.
If you're playing against any team who specialises in counter attacking football and you've got your goalkeeper 10 yards away from the halfway line, you are screwed. And you are completely correct in what you say. He did look like he was panicking yesterday, and we were made to pay the price for it. I don't think he was in the right position for the free kick. And funnily enough, I said before the goal went in, I said a couple of times actually on the stream, I said that this game is either going to be won by a dodgy decision, be it a penalty, a dodgy foul, or a free kick, or a moment of brilliance. And what went and happened? We lost to a free kick. And fair play to Liverpool for winning. They did all the right things yesterday, and we were second best.
This side said I'll be excited to see Isak at the Emirates.
Dunking on us at the Emirates in a Liverpool shirt. Yeah. I mean, fair play to him.
Like, I want to know from your perspective as like, so a team is trying to go for the league. Liverpool overtook you, whilst Man City dropped off. They did that stuff in the transfer window, but they finally got the signing of Alexander Isak over the line. So with how they played yesterday and how you see them overall, and with the position they're in now with Alexander Isak, do you think they're going to clear up the league? And do you think it fixes problems that you may have seen in the past from them? Like, what have you made? Like, what is the gap now with the teams? Like, overall, what does this signing really mean for Liverpool?
I think Liverpool are in a good position. Obviously, they've got 3 wins from 3, but they're often having to rely, since the start of the season, really, they're having to rely on late goals. I mean, you look at the opening night, they were 2-0 up, dropped it to 2-2, and it took a goal after the 84th minute for them to get back into a leading position. Had to rely on a late goal at St James's as well. And again, yesterday, they did have to rely on another late goal, but I think hopefully the fact that they've got Isak now, they've got a brilliant striker. I'm not knocking Ekatike, but I definitely think Isak is an upgrade on Ekatike. And whether those two will have a competition for that striker spot over the season, that'll definitely be interesting to see because Ekatike's hit form. What is it? 3 goals in 4. So he's in a decent position in terms of goal scoring wise. Isak coming in, big marquee signing for the summer. Will have to take a little while to get up to speed as he's played no football whatsoever. He's been training at Sociedad over the past few weeks because he's been completely iced out of Newcastle. But I definitely think as soon as Isak hits the ground running, Liverpool are going to be a very, very tough team to beat.
Yeah, it's good that they finally got the deal over the line. I didn't actually expect it to get done, but this is Isak now.
It's been a long journey to get here. I'm super happy to be a part of this team, this club, and everything it stands for. I want to create history. I want to win trophies. This is a perfect place for me. I always want to give as much as possible to the team. I'm delighted to have this chance and to get this number. Hopefully, we can share some amazing moments together.
Okay, I can't lie. Yeah. Great signing. But this had wasted potential in terms of the announcement. So what I feel like, I remember seeing a video of a Newcastle fan they made like when they were going to get Ekatike. When they were going to get Ekatike, there was all the rumors about playing 4-4-2. A Newcastle fan did the 2 flags on the chairs. So like the French flag and a Swedish flag on 2 chairs. There was like, this is how they should announce it. We stole Liverpool's target and we kept Isak. Liverpool should have done that. They should have twisted. They should have made it fun.
Yeah,
We
I get what
waited.
you mean.
Like even as neutrals, waited all this time for like the saga to be done. Like whether you wanted it to happen or not, we just waited for it to be done, sort of thing. Like I just think it could have been much better. Fair play. Like it's a great signing. I've always liked the guy. I just think we needed to see that bit of consistency. We saw that last year, so fair play to the guy. Big up to Free Corner as well.
Well, I mean,
every single time.
In terms of Liverpool's transfer business, especially today, they could have got 2 deals out of 2 done, but unfortunately, the last one broke down at the last minute. Obviously, he's staying at Crystal Palace. That'll be big for them this summer.
Definitely. I'm going to ask you something about that after, because Warrior's been putting in a couple of questions. Alfie, let me ask you a question. In my opinion, I thought you did all right in that first half with that lineup, but I thought you had to change it. I thought you had to change it at half time. Do you agree?
I definitely think changes should have been made at half time. I definitely think Eze should have been brought on at half time, whether you play him in that on that left wing position, or whether you bring in someone who can play out on the wing, whether you bring on a Trossard off the bench, you bring on a Ranieri, switch the wingers, have Ranieri come on for Martinelli, move Ranieri over to the right, Madueke to the left, bring Eze on, replace him for that one of the players in that defensive midfield. Other than that, I don't really think there was many other changes. I think maybe Lewis Skelly could have come on and given a bit of attacking impetus as we got into the final stages of the game. Obviously, we had Calafiori at left back, kind of sort of losing his legs, even slipped on the pitch, the dumbass. But I definitely think changes should have been made at half time, and we were made to pay the price for that. Again, us making late changes. We only made a change necessarily yesterday when we had to, in the sense that Saliba came off with an injury. We had to bring on Mosquera, otherwise would have been down to 10 men. Other than that, we're leaving changes late again. Like how are you waiting until the 70th minute to bring on Eze? Not only that, in the 89th minute, you take off Madueke and you bring on Max Dowman. You're relying on a 15-year-old to get you out of trouble. Like, what the fuck? This guy's about to take his GCSEs this year, and you're relying on him to get you out of a mess at Anfield. Am I a prick?
Oh, man, so from Pythagoras' theorem to try to be piping Liverpool, bruv, it's mad.
And it didn't work. He got iced out of the game. Kirkes marked him really well, and fair play to Kirkes for doing that. But at the end of the day, you don't bring on a 15-year-old when you're chasing the game at Anfield.
Why is he ahead of Ranieri?
I think he could have brought on Ranieri as well. I definitely think Ranieri could have gone on there. Like I said, switch the two, switch Madueke and Ranieri, have Eze in the 10. We look more attacking. But no, we stuck with the same attacking midfield. And when Marino came off for Erdegaard, we looked even worse. Because this guy looks like he's about to pass forward. Then he'll knock it back to either any midfielder around him or back to the back four.
Fuck.
It's boring.
I feel like there's no excitement.
There isn't. It's boring as shit.
Like, I don't think excitement necessarily matters. But I just feel like if your style of football isn't working, if it's not working, you have to switch it up. When I mean working, I mean it's 0-0. You need to go and win the game. That's what I didn't watch the game in it, so I don't know how bad it was. But from what Arteta's usually like, I'm not surprised at the criticism I've seen. And Mike's, let me ask you this question. I'm not going to lie, that Mike's curse about Isak with me. When did this Mike's curse start? I need to go research, Warrior. I think I'm going to use the international break to research the Mike's curse, because the first time everyone on camera knew it was on my first ever West Ham watch long, Bournemouth. I said, Unai won't score this free kick. He ain't got the juice like that. They scored. And that was my first ever watch along. The Mike's curse has been definitely longer than that. It's gone on for a year, I think. I usually get things wrong. I get things, especially predictions. When it's something I have to predict, I usually get it wrong. I generally didn't think Isak was going to Liverpool. I think I even said to Warrior, trust me, the Mike's curse ain't coming in this time. But honestly, Warrior, so my bad. I've got too much power in it. I said Isak to Liverpool wouldn't happen, and it did. So that's my bad. Liverpool still have a lot of problems. They have two fit centre-backs, no backup for Salah, who is out for a month and a half for AFCON. With more injury, there could be in extreme trouble. I think, joy is, when you mean extreme trouble, I just think I've always maintained what I'm going to say. They are going to win the league, in my opinion, because I feel like they're the strongest overall. I just don't think they're going to win any other competition because I don't think their squad is strong enough to go all out. Just because, in terms of like upgrading their squad balance wise, they've done that. But in terms of numbers, I don't think it's any dissimilar. Like the wings, they've not really got depth like that. You can't really rely on the Rio kid as a straight backup for Gakpo, in my opinion. I just think it, the backups are too young to the older guys.
At the same time, do you think, obviously, like Darren said, the obviously with Salah being out for AFCON, do you think that Liverpool's tactic is to maybe wait until AFCON comes along? Because obviously AFCON's starting early this year. Am I correct? Starting in December rather than January.
Yeah.
So I reckon they'll use the transfer window in January to look for a temporary replacement for Salah while he's away at AFCON, depending on how far Egypt go.
I think Frimpong will probably play more on the right wing.
To be
and
fair.
they'll probably like. I don't know who the other right winger options are because they sold Ben Doak or whatever his name is, Ben Doak.
Yeah.
So they'll shift it around. Slot will find a way. I just think it's that like we say this. I feel like we say this every 2 years about Salah going AFCON. They still always find a way. I remember when Salah went AFCON, they played Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain there for a couple of games and it worked. Like they should be winning against the teams anyway that they're facing, regardless of whether Salah's there or not. I know Salah's very key, but Salah's getting on a bit, regardless to his level. To his level, he's still gonna be very key, but it's just a case of you can't rely on one player no matter what team you are. So I feel like regardless, they need to find a way. They need to find a way wherever it is. You got enough squad as well.
In a way, it kind of feels like to me Liverpool kind of made a mistake selling Diaz to Bayern, because even without Salah at AFCON, in a way you could kind of play either Diaz on the left and Gakpo on the right, or switch the two. I know it's not really happened before, but needs must in that situation. You know what I mean?
But I think the reason why they sold Diaz and Nunes was because to fund Isak, and the reason why it took so long is because Newcastle needs to find a replacement.
Yeah.
So like, if they didn't sell them, they wouldn't have got Isak, and I don't know how they're going to do the front three because I know Isak and Ekitike can both play on the left, and yeah, Gakpo could play on the right, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they'll go to like maybe not a back three, but maybe like if everyone's fit, Joe Gomez will tuck it as a right centre back, and Frimpong will just run down the right wing or whatever. They'll adjust it. They'll find a way. I'm very interested to see what they'll do if they have an injury crisis or whatever. But this is why I still think they're going to win the league, and they'll go for the league. But they won't win the Carabao Cup. They won't win the FA Cup or the Champions League because I just don't think they're strong on all fronts when it comes to that. But we'll see. They had few hours to do it. Are you talking about the Gay one? I want to ask you, yeah. Do you think it's the right thing to do to push for a move the way Isak and Wissa did, because they got their move? Because people are saying Gay did it the nice way. Some people were saying he did it the right way because he was respectful. But some people are saying, well, you got a short career in football. You've dedicated a lot to Palace, and you have 1 year left on your deal. So it's very stupid for them to pull the plug and not find a replacement quicker. So what do you make of it? Because Gay played every single minute. He scored yesterday as well. Like, it's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think it was definitely looking at the end of the game against Villa yesterday for Palace. It looked as if that goal from Gahey was a good buy. It was a farewell present, as the commentator put it, that I was watching the match of the day highlights on. But it did look for a few hours. Obviously, we did get the here we go from Fabrizio saying that Gahey was going to Liverpool. I think in that time, Palace should have acted a lot quicker to get a replacement in. They still had plenty of time to get the deal done. Again, we don't know how long it takes for clubs to send over paperwork and like send over transfer offers and stuff. Like, we're watching it from the outside. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But to me, I definitely think that Palace should have worked quicker to get a replacement in, because it was certain that Gahey was going to go. He was going to Liverpool. He'd said his goodbyes. They'd already filmed the farewell video as well, and the thank you skipper posts and everything. And now they've done a U-turn, and he's going to be here for either until January or for the remainder of the season. Whether they sign him onto a new deal in that time, it remains to be seen. But definitely, Palace should have acted quicker.
Like, do you know what the problem is as well? The whole report was he's going to leave at the end of the season anyway. He's going to go on a free. And they got a centre-back in at the end. So what was the point? Like, apparently they got a last-minute centre-back in. So I don't understand it. Like you've got Chadi Riyad, I think, still there. I think the other guy is just joined on a loan. Cool.
Edwards.
Richards, Lacroix. Yeah.
Oh no, Richards. I mean, sorry.
Richards. Yeah, Richards.
Yeah.
Not Edwards. That's
Okay.
Savio video again.
That's-
The Lacroix as well. Like Jefferson Lerma can play there. So I don't get it. But Gay's not the type of person to make a fuss. But I also feel like clubs take advantage of that. Clubs don't really. We say players aren't loyal to fans, but clubs aren't loyal to players, even if they do well. So it's a catch-20. Football isn't loyal in general. No one's loyal to each other.
not anymore.
The only ones that are loyal are the fans. By the way, people are saying, I'm not saying that like fans can do what they want, but fans either watch abroad all the time, or they're at the fucking game, or they're in the pub all the time. Like somewhere or not, they're always there, no matter where they are. Like that's the only people that are loyal. In terms of the people that have got the money, players, managers, clubs, they're not meant to be loyal, by the way, because the club are looking at from the club standpoint, and the players and managers are looking at their career standpoint. So I completely understand why they wouldn't be. But I think the Gay signing, I feel sorry for him just because I want him to make a big move. I've had stocks in Mark Gay for a little bit, and I really like the player. But I do also think you've got a short career. I understand why the fans would be upset, but I do feel like you should push for a move as long as it's in the best. But I also do feel like the club should have got an interest, should have got a replacement earlier, so this deal could have happened and everyone could have been happier. But just because you knew Gay was going to leave anyway, he's on 1 year left, so I didn't really understand that. I thought that age didn't matter when it comes to winning. I think he's talking about Max Dowman bringing on the 15-year-old sort of thing. You're comment about that.
Fairs.
Kirkis was shit. Jeez, that 2 litre Coke going fast. I didn't mean to bring up that comment as you were drinking it, but that's fine.
Oh no, I bought this one. I had this one a few days ago.
Oh, fair enough. I don't agree with the lineup, but we started with them, so it was working. Some should definitely be earlier, though. Fair enough. Like, would you say that the lineup was working in terms of the midfield and the overall, just the way you stifled them?
No, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I don't think we did the right thing by playing so defensively in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of people say, "Oh, why hasn't Mikel Arteta won anything?" It's because he lacks balls. Like at the end of the day, you're not going to see like other managers. You're not going to see a Hansi Flick going to Anfield playing defensively. You're not going to see a Luis Enrique going to Anfield playing defensively. You're not even going to see an Emery going to Anfield playing defensively.
Yeah,
like,
Emery.
These managers have won things.
And there's nothing wrong with playing defensive if you actually, when you do have the ball, you do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I used to complain about with managers at West Ham. You're going to be defensive. You actually have to do something on a counter. Because I like counter-attacking football when it works as well. I like any kind of football when it works. I don't really have a preference in terms of style of play. If it works, just do it. But when it doesn't work, I'm going to criticize your style of play, whether you have possession or not. That's been my criticism. If Van Dijk gets injured, it's over. Don't write City off just yet. I'm still not writing off City. I don't think their problems are fixed. I do think they look shaky in defense still. But I just don't see City having 2 stinker seasons in a row. And I feel like they're going to be too late to get to the reality check. But I still feel like Liverpool get over the line. 4-4-2 with Wirtz and Dom as the cams. Watson, Gakpo, and one of the strikers up front, or just Isak and Ekitike. But Gakpo will play it. That's the thing. Gakpo will play it. That's the only thing I will say. But they're going to do that thing where it's like Emery, where it's like 4-2-3-1. One of the strikers drops in the 10 off the ball, but then on the ball is a 4-4-2. So
I definitely think as well, McAllister provides a lot too in that Liverpool midfield. So I definitely think it's going to be difficult to take McAllister out of the team, and maybe it could be a case if they do decide to play 4-4-2, you alternate between Szoboszlai and McAllister, or you play a 4-1-2-1-2 and have one of them sat further back, have Wirtz go forward. Maybe that could work.
Like, they love the McAllister, Gravenberch midfield too. That's what they love. And I think McAllister didn't play much in preseason. I could be wrong. I think one of them didn't play much in preseason. That's why they haven't started to give him as much. but I haven't really been paying attention. I'll be honest, and it isn't just because of his stinking performances for the past 3 weeks, but Liverpool should have got Rodgers this summer. Rodgers would have been a great signing. I know he's had a bad start. I still think he'll do good. He'll still good. He'll still do good, in my opinion. When I realized how strong the Mike's curse was during the summer series versus Everton, Mike's, you said Travers is a decent keeper and he made a mistake. West Ham won't win the last 2 games and you won. Yeah, do you know what? That's actually, Warrior, I wish I had those specific timestamps as well, where I said Travers was a good keeper, then he makes the mistake. And then me talking about West Ham won't win these last 2 summer series games and we beat Everton and Bournemouth. Like, this is typical Mike's. You got under. I said we lose to Forest, but I say we lose every game, so that don't count. But we'll get on to West Ham in a bit. I'm just gonna go through. By the way, Villa fan, let me know about what's your opinion on your transfer window. I want to know your opinion.
Just signed Sancho as well, so
yeah, Sancho, Lindelof.
Yeah.
Those. I still liked the Sancho signing. I just can't defend getting a sweetie tattoo, bro.
I think they've
What the
managed to
fuck are you
keep
doing?
Martinez as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he will go back into the squad after playing again. Not playing or whatever. I know Martinez hasn't been great as of recently, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Mike said West Ham are going down, by the way. We haven't scored a goal yet. There's no way you think Villa are finishing below West Ham.
Surely not.
And if you do, I'm willing to put money on it that will finish below you. Let me know if you want to accept that bet, if you agree. If you do think that. Yeah, Palace did get a centre back in. Rodgers let my PL down. Talking about pubs, honestly, do you think doing a watch? Do you think doing a watch along in a pub would work? So basically, before I get into the Forest West Ham thing, let me tell you a little story. I was going to Pen game yesterday. I knew it was in Elephant and Castle, so I knew I had to find a pub if I was going to do a watch along. That's why I had the stream set up originally. But it took me 40 minutes to find a pub, which is why I arrived at 1 in Elephant and Castle, because I knew I needed to give myself time. I was asking about pubs to these guys that were working in pubs. They kept recommending me other places that didn't have fucking TVs. I eventually made it to the Black Prince in which is a pub in Kennington, which is right next to Elephant and Castle. Kennington, where it started. Yeah, where it started. Big up Sancho and that. Like, they have screens everywhere. So I actually requested for them to put the West Ham game on. But I realized I could have still done a watch along, but there was just too many people around me and I was too drunk. So it wouldn't have worked anyway. But even if I was sober, fucking hell, that would not have worked. I ended up just like chilling in there. I couldn't even watch the last 4 minutes of added time and stuff, but I made it work. I did a drunk match reaction on the way there. So it was all good. Little 3 minutes. I was always going to give you guys a video. But I think a watch along in a pub would work if it was like the way Troops did it back like a few years ago when Arsenal faced Brentford. Where they were watching it in like an American pub, everyone's watching the game. So it made sense. But everyone was interested in different things in that pub. There was non-West Ham fans there, there was West Ham fans there was people that wanted to watch Formula One on Sky for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah, it's the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah. Do you go to a pub to watch Formula One?
Not really. I usually just sit in my house and watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't feel like a pub sport, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I think they did something at Box Park back in 2021 for the final race of the season that year. I think that was an exciting thing. I think unless there's like something going on in terms of like, oh, whoever wins this race wins the championship or that sort of thing. I think unless that's going on, just watch it at your house. Just watch it in your gaff. Like, just do that instead. I mean, if your favourite driver's racing for the championship and it's the last race of the season, by all means, go to Box Park, be with like-minded people. But instead of that, just watch it in your house. It's what I do. Or unless you've got bread, go pay whatever money you can get to go and get a ticket to go and watch it live.
If you can do that, fair play. Fair play to you. That's the thing. I didn't picture it as a pub sport, but I've never watched it, so I didn't know. But big up to AJ in the chat. Please like and subscribe, people, as AJ says. AJ's one of the most dedicated ones in terms of like promoting the channel and stuff. So big up AJ. Every single time. Subscribe to Alfie, people. Alfie, would you rather lose by 5-4 or 1-0? It don't fucking matter, does it?
It don't matter. You're still losing. I mean, 1-0 is probably the best out of the situation because if you lose 5-4, yes, you've scored 4, but you've conceded 5. You've still lost the game. There's no upside either way. But I think losing 1-0 is more respectable.
No, fair enough. You can't defend for 9 minutes. Even Jose, 15-goal Chelsea actually attacked. That's the thing. Jose was a defensive manager, but he still had attacking intent. Like, that's why I criticized David Moyes for West Ham. We had attacking intent when we were good. So when we hit people in the count, so Fornals, Bowen, Benrahma, Lingard, Antonio, whatever. But it's when we started going ultra defensive and more attacking players, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? So it depends on the manager. Emery is a defensive, but I would understand him going to like a PSG stadium playing defensive like we did, because it depends on certain opposition in the Prem, but it's stupid. Joy is as well. Emery's a balanced manager. Emery's pragmatic. He adjusts to the opponent. But I know it hasn't gone well so far for Villa. But Emery focuses a lot on defensive structure and attacking patterns at the same time. I really like his tactics. I know it hasn't worked out for Villa though so far, so I would love to know what's going on there. Dave, we could have actually won 2 on that if we actually attacked. That is true. I still don't write off City. Well done, Mike's curse again. Do you know what, to be fair, clip it, Warrior, just in case. Just in case I curse Man City again, you might as well clip it. AJ all could have lost by 3-1. But at least, like, at that point when you're losing, you need to go for it. I feel like you need to go for it anyway, but have some balance. Just don't be naive with it. You just got to have balance. Fuck style of play for a second. Just have balance. At least you can say, well, we gave everything on the pitch without saying the boys gave everything like Graham Potter would. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, you feel like you did everything you could. It was just the keeper performed like mad, the defense performed like mad, or whatever. If you don't feel like that, something's wrong. Gravenberch just had a kid, that's why he weren't playing. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know there was a lot of Arsenal fans complaining after the game about a Szoboszlai handball. Now, I'm not being funny. Yes, VAR have cocked up massively this season and had a few terrible decisions so far, but there's no way that's a penalty. Like, he doesn't know anything about it. It just hits him on the arm. Doesn't look like he's trying to make his body bigger by doing that. Never a penalty. Again, Arsenal fans just looking for excuses.
Yeah, I saw the replay. I don't really understand Arsenal fans, but I never will. Dave, actually, we actually attacked to win that game because the first time Liverpool right there. No one finishing below us. Big up, Dick. Yeah. Wolves is looking peak right now. I can't lie. 11 likes. Get the likes up, people. With 30 people in here.
Smash the likes, people.
Poor Elliot, and guessing it's only positive. I know we can't buy him, but what does Sancho, who was poor at Chelsea, do to improve us? And Lindelof, even though it's fourth choice, is a mess, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't rate the Lindelof signing. I think Sancho could be a good signing. I don't even think he was that bad at Chelsea. I think he had a bad end to it. But Sancho benefits a lot of a striker. And I think Watkins could maybe benefit of that. If he can't do well here, then honestly, he's done. He's done. I do think he's got the right manager under his wing, but it hasn't started well, has it? I'm going to move on to West Ham United because a lot of people want to ask questions. Speaking about Forest West Ham, the fuck happened in that second half? Since I saw the stats and I was watching Brighton City and was like, what the fuck? I don't even think we played that well. I'll be real. I think we took advantage of Forest being shit. I don't think Forest are that good. I've maintained that from the start. I know they haven't had the worst start in the world, but they drew to Palace, and I think they just took advantage of Brentford at the start. They made some good signings. I do rate their business highly. Hutchison, McAtee, and Doyle looks good from his start and whatever. I just think we were structured. The formation change made a difference. Fernandes made a difference. I think Mavropanos played well. I think Kilman played well. But at the same time, I don't think they were as outstanding as people say. I just don't think we were tested that much when it came to them trying to utilize Chris Wood. I think the only times they've tried to really attack us was down the left-hand side, and Walker Peters dealt with Hudson-Odoi really well. Diouf was really well in possession, but he didn't really get tested like that 1v1. And I like Diouf, but I'm not going to just say he was superb 1v1 just because he didn't get tested. When it comes to the midfield, the midfield was still Pants, Ward-Prowse, and Souček. I think Graham Potter still needs to be looked at with a microscope and why he's not playing the young players after being promised all this time in playing the young players. I think his head needs to be chopped off still, but it is what it is. But I do think the substitute of Somerville, I was scared because I was like, is this too soon? I wasn't expecting him to be in the squad. But fucking hell, this is why I rate the guy. And this is why I was going at people for criticizing the guy. There was generally a time in the fan base where people were defending Lopetegui for not playing Somerville. And I was very confused because Somerville was everything we needed last year. And then he got injured on Potts' first game of the season. I think we needed to sign a winger this transfer window as well. as much as it was a priority, we needed to sign an extra one as well. Hopefully, Guilherme coming back. Earthy's staying. And I don't think he's going to play, but he's a winger /10, mainly a 10. We need more dynamism, and we need to stick with the back four. Again, thank you for leaving, you absolute prick. And
Has he gone on a permanent?
Yes, thank God. You can fuck right off and join the pedos in Marseille. Fuck the Zerbi as well. Big up Emerson. You shouldn't have gone to that club, but big up to you. I fucking love Emerson. I'm gutted he's left. Been mistreated last year. But the best left back I've seen at the club. Thank you so much for everything you did.
You remember playing Cresswell over him?
Yeah, Moyes was playing Cresswell over him like in his first season. It's dumb. It's dumb. But then Emerson performed like that in the Conference League final, and that's all she wrote, bruv. And again, everyone that defended again, all these stupid Moroccans that keep at me online, bruv, you can all fuck yourself because he has a weird cult for no reason. He's literally the most overrated player I've ever seen at the club. Fuck his passing. And I hope Newcastle fucking demolish Marseille as soon as they face them in the Champions League. Hope they lose every single game. Sorry, Emerson, but collateral damage and agendas have to run. I don't like De Zerbi. They've got Mason Greenwood and they've got Naya Faged. I'm not a fan. That's all I'm going to say. But fuck again. But with the game, we took advantage. Fair play to Callum Wilson for the goal. I still don't like you. I never will, but fair play to the goal. Paquetá, that was a legendary celebration. Legendary celebration. Man said, huh? Phone? Fuck off. I was wrong about Paquetá in my video. I was angry. My bad. Paquetá's never been close to leaving. His family are happy here. Do you know what's so funny? His family didn't even want to move when he was meant to move to Manchester City. That's a fun fact for you guys. He didn't even, his family and his wife said they were happy here. Fair play. Big up to Lucas Paquetá. You've embraced the club very well. I don't believe in the whole what do you call it? Antics or passion merchant stuff doing all of this. I don't believe in that. I don't believe it means a player loves the club or anything. This is modern day football we're talking about. But at the same time, he's made a statement by staying. And Fabrizio Romano, you've got corn coming your way because you have fucking exposed yourself this window. And I've got a video dropping tomorrow. Straight corn for Fabrizio because this guy. Well, I was out all day. I got on my phone and I'm seeing here we go soon for Paquetá to Villa. I'm like, you taking a fucking piss. Fuck that, bruv. He was never even close to moving, according to ex-West Ham employee. Like, he was never... And he started, and he was meant to be, like, dropping out of the game to push for a move. The only time Paquetá necessarily pushed for a move, by the way, he was meant to move to Manchester City, and we played Bournemouth 2 years ago. And he basically requested to David Moyes, can I be taken off at the 75th minute, just so I don't get injured? But Moyes played him for a bit longer, and he still never complained. So I can't fault a man for doing that. Fair play to you. And big ups for the win. We kept a clean sheet, and we scored 3 goals. It was a bit of like a... It was a bit like a FIFA game. It's like when you play like shit, but you get lucky. Because your opponent didn't test you, but momentum's a thing. We scored 3 goals. Somerville won the penalty. Somerville created for the second goal. Borrowing that turn and finish, this is why I call him one of the best wingers in the league. This is why I call him one of the best wingers in the world. Don't care what people say. That's instincts right there. Big up to Jared Bowen. And then for the Castle, where you scouted for Latinos. I was at Penn Game, lad. I didn't see any Latinos there. And I didn't see any Latinas either, bruv. I'm not Jay, bruv. I'm not Jay. I'm not scouting for Brazilian men, bruv. Thoughts on the Eagle Julio signing? I honestly don't know how to feel about this signing. West Ham United signed Eagle as the again replacement on loan because we want to do things on the cheap. This is the guy who let in the goal for Jared Bowen against the Conference League final. This is the same guy. This and that guy. So technically, this guy won us a trophy. So you can't really fault him. But
a West Ham legend?
Nah, not legend, but he's up there. But big up to him anyway. Because listen, you're here. I don't really like what I've seen so far in terms of the little I've seen from you in terms of game time, but fair play. But that was a comment earlier from Merrick, so I don't really know how to think about it. But yeah, Paquetá staying is a W, Godfrey. Come back to your comment from nearly an hour ago. Big up to yourself. And that is a big W. Because I've criticised Paquetá for last season, but there's nobody that, apart from Lanzini, in terms of passes through the midfield, there's no one I've seen like him at West Ham. I've not seen anyone that can really thread a football like that, like through. And we don't really see much at West Ham when it comes to quality, so fair play to him. Yeah, like overall, I'm happy in it. It's more relief, Alfia. Like, it's more relief that we actually won a game.
Yeah.
we didn't do the same thing we were discussing a few days ago about having one of the worst starts in West Ham history, 3 games in a row where we had 0 points or whatever. That's just what I'm happy about. Some of us already done more this season than Kudus did last season. That's all I'm
You
going to say.
played a back 4 as well.
Yeah, and Fernandes had a brilliant debut. He basically played on the left, and him and Pakatoma linking up. Mateus Fernandes is a good player. Hopefully he can carry it on. Not going to gas it too much. It's his first game, but he really wanted to make a statement. I like the late business, but we shouldn't have done it late. We needed to plan a lot more. We needed more signings. So a winger was needed. A younger striker was needed. Better centre-backs were needed. Ward-Prowse needed to leave. Mavropanos needed to leave. Got the goalkeeper in. Hermansen clean sheet. Wasn't really tested like that, but had great cross collection. So you can't really fault Hermansen. But he didn't really get tested like that, so I'm not going to run any agendas. But that's what I mainly think of West Ham. That is what I mainly have thought about West Ham. Let me get to your comments. We actually deserve PSR issues because we have fossils in our team, and in more than the players who actually make it better. Matty Cash has nicked the best living you will see. What's happened to Matty Cash, Villa fan? I would love to know. Big out to AJ every single time. Please subscribe to Alfie if you haven't already. Yeah, Alfie's link is in the description. Not description. Title.
49 away from 500, so make sure we're getting to 500 by the end of the year.
Yeah, we need that. We need that. Alfie, I have a question for you. In 2 weeks, you host Forest. Would you be concerned if you drop points at home, and does your expectations change?
Well, I mean, in an ideal world, you shouldn't really be concerned about dropping points at home, but it is Arsenal at the end of the day. And we know what Arsenal are like. It wouldn't surprise me if we tried playing for a draw against Forest, but you never know. Obviously, we've got the international break coming up. Going to have a decent rest for a lot of the players in the squad, other than the lads that are actually going to play for their countries. Apart from that, hopefully there's no injuries during this break. If there is, there's going to be massive problems. And then we're back at it in a couple of weeks against Forest. Hopefully we can go on and win that game. Maybe I'll feel a bit more confident getting closer to the game. But in another way, I don't feel confident at the moment after what I saw yesterday.
That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of Moyes, they bought some 6'6" German tank for their midfielder. Apparently you and Liverpool once unless I mixed him up with somebody else. I think we're linked with him. I don't know how strong the links were. But a 6'6" midfielder, that's a very Moyes signing. And to be fair, Grealish, Dewsbury, Hall, and Dye have been linking up greatly recently. I'm happy for Grealish to go and for
He
him to
started
go and do
really
his
well.
goal. So, yeah, started really well. 4 assists already. So fair play to him. I think the only thing I think they'll struggle with is the striker up front, and I think the defense will be tested at times because they're still conceding goals. But what I will say about Everton is, if they really were serious, they should have got better fullbacks to benefit that 3. Just because if you're going to play 3 narrow, you've got flying fullbacks that are going to help. Like if Moyes had a younger Aaron Cresswell or Soufal first season of the equivalent, I think they could do something. But there's still a few holes in it. I feel like it's going to be carried more of individual brilliance rather than the actual structure of the team. But fair play to Jack Grealish. I'm just glad he's playing football again. And yeah, fair play to him. I think if Arsenal didn't play the 3-CM yesterday, it would have been like 2 or 3-0 in the first half, especially when Saliba got injured in the first 5 minutes. Fair. That's interesting. Sancho started off well for us, and I'm not going to lie, dip to the end. That's fair. It's actually the same as the Tarkowski one. Hits the top of his shoulder, and harsh as everyone forgot what handball is. It means hits the hand or lower part of the arm, not the shoulder. Facts. Also, handball. I don't know about people in school, yeah? In school, what we used to just say handball, ball to hand. Where if your hand is going towards the ball, it's handball. If your ball is going towards the hand, it's ball to hand. We just used to say that in school. That's how we used to say handball was. Like, handball rule is just as simple as that. Cool, the lower arm, that is a rule as well. Cool, you can say that. But people are overcomplicating handball rules. I think that's the problem. If your motion towards the arm is going like that, that's a handball. That's a handball. If your arms are like that anyway, cool, it's blocking it. But in my opinion, it shouldn't be a handball because your arms are out. Cool, it can be unnatural position. I don't give a fuck, bro. I can't lie. Because you know when you're playing football, you're not concentrating where your arms are. You're not looking at that. If your arm is going towards the ball, that's a handball. If your ball is going towards the arm, it's ball to arm. Ball to hand. Simple. That's how it's always been. Mike, let me ask you, since your team faced against Forest yesterday, what was the weakness you were seeing at Forest in that game that we didn't see last season from them? Warrior, I think what you're seeing from Forest is the same Forest from the back end of the season that dropped off. So their football's been figured out. The problem is with this kind of football, when you're sitting back and hitting them on the counter, a lot of these teams will play in a mid block or low block to make them try and control the ball in possession. They've got technicians, but they don't have the manager to let them play. So Elliot Anderson is a lot of individual brilliance. Hudson-Odoi, individual brilliance. Morgan Gibbs-White, individual brilliance, etc. They've got good attackers. They actually need an attacking coach, in my opinion, because of, just based on this. What they need a balanced coach, but like an Emery-based coach. No, not Emery specifically, Emery-based. But in my opinion, they're quite one-dimensional in possession. It's like they focus so much on off the ball that when they do get the ball, they don't really know what the fuck to do. So that's what I think as well. And I think the problem is they've lost the defensive stability, where usually if you're defensive, you keep a clean sheet, or you concede one and cool, we go again, we defend for the rest of the game. The problem you're seeing from Forest, especially in the 2025 calendar year, is once one goal goes in, a couple more go in. They're susceptible to a couple more goals. They don't know how to keep their concentration after conceding a goal. They don't know how to maintain the pressure anymore. When usually in a defensive structure, when the team's trying to defend so much, they sit back, they soak it up, pause, but they also can just maintain. They can just maintain by soaking it up, by not conceding. That's the whole game plan. Once that goes out the window, there's no point in you having a defensive game plan. That's what I think. You owe Charlie a pint for not doing a watch along. He would have been gassed yesterday. Yeah, I spoke to Charlie in DMs. Big up Charlie. I know he's in the chat somewhere. Charlie's gassed, and I was happy for him. Am I the only one who thinks that Ten Hag, for as bad as he did with United, was harshly sacked yesterday? Nah, I think there was a big reason why people left. There's a big reason why people left. I just think, Villa fan, it was basically Leverkusen are smarter than Man United, so they saw the lines, saw the things early. But it's also very stupid to hire someone just to sack them early, even though they should be sacked. You know what I mean? It's like Lopetegui. Lopetegui should have been sacked early, but he should have been hired in the first place. You know what I mean? So yeah. Don't waste the Emerson money all up once you're taking a piss. This is because we sold them for 1 million, by the way. Yeah. We're like I said this to Musty. We couldn't sell sex to a brothel. Honestly, I'm convinced you'll watch along to the reason why West Ham haven't played well. 3-0 win yesterday. The Mike's curse. I told you the Mike's curse. I don't make this up, by the way. I did, but I did it at the same time. Life made this up. Big up to Melon, Mark you live. Yeah, I'm happy for Pakistan was done dirty by Fabrizio. I don't do Twitter, but apparently he didn't. Here we go. When he didn't even want to move. Yeah, Pakistan has never wanted to leave unless it meant a crucial move of going back to Brazil or Manchester City. That's it. If a Liverpool came in, I'm sure he wants to move. If Arsenal came in, I'm sure he wants to move. But it's like the base is that's common sense. You're going to want to move from West Ham to these clubs. But he doesn't want to just move for the sake of it. He doesn't want to move for the sake of it. As soon as you made that Paquetá rant video, scores and kisses the badge, Mike's curse again. Warrior, this is getting worrying now. It's getting worrying. I'm starting to realize I have too much power in the world and I can't use this for my actual life. Like I can't just say I'm gonna be broke tomorrow and I get $1 million. I can't just do that. Like it only happens in football when I'm predicting something or I make a video. YouTube has not made the Mike's curse any better. It hasn't. Man used the Mike's curse for good. Exactly. Transfer window close equals Twitter account deactivated. I am turning off so many notifications. I don't even need to look at Twitter like that until there's a game week. Sup, Mikes. Big up dots every single time. Alf, what did the Flight Emirates sponsor taste like? Can't believe a man could be that hungry. What's the context of that?
I mean, the sponsor's just faded.
But since you ate the lettuce. No, I didn't realize that's what you ate the font. No, that's crazy. I wouldn't have that. After you got a fucking cooked melon, bruv.
Yeah, you did you did 3/4 of a bottle of Jägermeister on stream. We're not the same.
I didn't want Pakistan anyways. I'm happy with our midfield low. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't really understand the signing in the first place. I told man, yes, Charlie, you did. Charlie said we're gonna win. I was like, no, we're not. But Charlie's like, he refuses, bruv. He refuses for anything Forest related. I hear it, man. Mighty cash grab. Forest a shit 7-0 winning coming. You think you're going to win 7-0?
I did say on stream yesterday, does this mean that Charlie's going to be back in and supporting Arsenal against Forest?
Oh, yeah, he hates Forest more than Arsenal. So, oh, yeah, Charlie, how did your family react to you giving him shit? That's what I want to know. I know your family blocked you last time. Forest did something mad. Forest defense has been shambolic. Yeah, especially in the new calendar year, they've been absolutely shocking. They've been shocking. Forest conceded a goal to that top. Like, bruv, Callum Wilson, bruv. Callum Wilson, bruv. You can't concede to Callum Wilson. Never heard of ball to hand these days. Yeah, I agree. Used to hear it all the time in secondary. Exactly. Primary and secondary, yeah. It was just ball to hand, handball. Like, that's how we grew up. Like, that's all we, like, every time it hit somebody's arm, man will claim ball to hand even though they handballed it. That was just how it was. That was just how it was, bro. Like, I can't lie. Everyone's just
or they're diving in front of the ball hands first and they're saying ball to hand.
Yep. They're taking a piss at that point. They're taking a piss. Now you're wrong. The problem with Forest is they're fucking Forest. They're shit bunch of useless. Chamoy fans who have 3 teeth and toes combined should focus on running a treadmill. Instead, the fat, greasy. I think he's talking about Marinakis. Marinakis is incredibly fat, but he's shamelessly fat. Like, he happily has the belly out and the button is screaming. It's like for its life. I always see the shirt going up, bruv, like it's in the wind.
This man intimidated Gibbs White into staying.
Yeah, bro, he shook knighted that whole shit, bruv. He shook knighted that whole shit. I've been blocked on WhatsApp. Fair enough, bro. I got removed from the group chat too. They didn't like it when I threatened to bomb the ball. You're a fucking waste man, bro. I love you, bro, so much. So, Mike, what you're saying about Forest, if you give them the ball, they cannot do anything with it, right? Yeah, they're so one-dimensional, bro. Like, the problem is as well, you know, when you give a team that sits back the ball, they don't know how to do anything with the ball because all their training is off the ball preparation. Sit back. What are the other team doing with the ball? How are we going to defend the other team attacking? That is the big problem. That's the problem. So when you give them the ball, we didn't even sit back like that. We pressed them a little bit. We're just in the mid block. We chose when to press them, but we were just semi-organized. Anyone that's a little bit organized for us are not going to be like peppering them. Chris Wood had a couple chances via corners. We put Souček on Chris Wood for corners, and that's all they were trying to target. They were really leeching off set pieces a lot. Gibbs White would have been eaten if he left. That's a Marinakis would have. 8 Gibbs White. That sounds mad. But listen, people, we're gonna end it there. Big up to everyone here. Smash the likes, subscribe, people. Subscribe to Alfie as well. Who are we gonna redirect to? Fuck it, man. Let's redirect to Flawless. Call-in show. He's doing a call-in show, so go and say hi to Flawless. And yeah, Mike's raid on the way. Take care, peace.